As we know, the Mass is the source and the summit of our faith. But let me let you in on a little secret of my life. As a mum of 3 children under the age of 8, my earthly subjective experience of Mass can be slightly less than the objective heavenly reality. Let me give you a glimpse into my life. I'm Kate Kavanagh. I live here in this parish and delighted to be involved in the cell groups here for the previous 9 years. As I joined the cell groups, my husband and I had just moved here to the parish, and the welcome that I received from the cell community here was beautiful. As 1 child arrived and then 2, the cell meetings were just a little bit noisy with children, so a group of us in this parish came together to create the family cell group. And let me say, it has just been a joy. There are 4 things I really appreciate about the family cell group. First of all, it's not in my house, so I do not need to do that fortnightly hoover that we heard about earlier on. Second of all, it's a really shortened format, and it's really light. Just surrounded on Scripture. All we need is Scripture, and sometimes we read the same piece of Scripture 3 times, and the children manage to make noises at different parts of the Scripture each time. Isn't that kind of them? There's also no pressure to turn up. Last week, I was on the way to cell group, having told everyone to expect me. I was actually going to be on time, and I was really excited about that. However, in the 4.5-minute car journey between my home and the car park, my 2-year-old managed to fall asleep. I don't know if any of you have ever had overly tired 2-year-old toddlers who choose to nap in the car. My rule of life is do not wake the sleeping, teething toddler. The beautiful members of the cell group did not mind that I did not turn up until half an hour later. They gave me a hug as I entered the room late, as I'd missed the prayer, as I had missed the sharing, as I had missed the Scripture. They are wonderful leaders, love and pray and cheer us on when we're there. They love and pray and cheer us on when our children are quiet. They love and pray and cheer us on when our children are noisy. And they love and pray and cheer us on when we're late, and even and especially when we don't turn up at all. So let me pull this back to Mass. What does this mean for me in the Mass? Well, knowing that there are people here in the parish in this way from the cell groups, knowing that they are cheering me on, makes it easier for me to be fully present in Mass. I know that I belong here in this parish. I know that with 3 kids under the ages of 8, I know that there are people in the congregation who know I am doing my best, that they are literally cheering me on when my children are quiet at Mass, when my children are noisy at Mass, when my toddler is having a tantrum on the floor and as I'm trying to drag them out of the church, and even when I'm late to Mass, and sometimes maybe I can whisper it to you here among friends, even sometimes when we sometimes don't make it at all and are listening in a parked car in the car park on our phones. So, what is the point of faith communities, of cell groups? Well, I have loved listening to everyone here today. As Diane and Stephen said, healing, union, unity, growth of faith. Father Michael, what a beautiful articulation of this continual invitation to accept the personal love and affirmation of Jesus. Noel, talking about learning to articulate our faith and allowing Scripture to break open our life. Archbishop Fisichella, I'm not going to summarise at all what you said tonight, but what touched my heart was spending time with a God who is close and learning to recognise the face of Jesus in each person I meet each day, even my children. But of course, for me, it came close to what Father Gregory was saying, that the vocations to the priesthood come from faith communities that are alive. And as I look at my children, my vocation is to grow saints, to grow myself into a saint and to grow my children into saints, although that is completely out of my control, as we know. It's to be steeped in Scripture and alive in the Spirit as much as I possibly can. For me, it's to accept all the blessings of heaven, even while we're here on earth, to walk out my vocation, to spend time with a God who is close, to keep coming back to the Mass, which is the source and summit of our faith, even when it doesn't feel like it. So this is my prayer for you and for me, to belong somewhere where you know that other people are cheering you on, to be close to the Jesus who loves us unconditionally, and to hear the whole of heaven cheering you on.